All right, Josh, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Good, good. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up?
Grew up in Sun Valley, California.
All right, and did you have both mom and dad in your life?
I did. Yeah.
Did you have a good childhood?
No, it was pretty bad.
Where did that start?
Well, my dad was a real bad alcoholic, and he would just like beat my mom. Come home drunk. And just beat my mom pretty bad, and beat me pretty bad. Blacked my eyes, broke my ribs. Stuff like that.
Over what though?
Just him being drunk. Just really anything, whatever. He had a bad day, or he would just take it out on me. One of the things like always stood out with me. I remember I woke up. It was like a Saturday morning, and I woke up. I was young, I was like 11 or 12, and I was like, I got up. And I remember it was cold, so I stood by the heater, and I was watching Saturday morning cartoons, and I see my dad in the kitchen, and he was washing dishes, and he stopped, and he turned and looked at me, and he was like, my life would be so much better if you were never born. And it was like out of the blue, and it was just like, what the fuck? Like, what did I do? You know what I mean? Like, why? And that stuck with me for like my whole life. It was just pretty crazy.
Did you have any conversation with him after that, trying to resolve these type of things, or was it just it never went there?
No, once, I tried to tell him, I was like, like, I'm your son, like, it was like years later, though. I was like, I'm your son, I'm not your enemy. It was supposed to be like family and take care of each other, and nothing ever came of it, though. It was just, like I said, he was a mean drunk, he was just a hard alcoholic.
Did you finish high school?
I did, actually, well, I got kicked out of every school in LA, and so the LA Unified School District, so I went and got my GED. From there, I joined the military, and then I graduated college.
Okay, so you were pretty successful then.
Yeah.
You were in the military.
I was.
So your experience there, coming home, how did it go?
Well, when I came home, my mom was proud of me, but my dad was like, I have a scar on my face, and for some reason he thought it was a tattoo or something on my face. And he was like, what are you tattooing your face? And I was like, what are you talking about? There's no tattoos on my face. And he was just, still, just like, no matter what I did, it was never good enough, But if someone else's kid, or someone else's daughter, whatever, his friend, did the exact same thing or less than I did, it was like, oh, that's so awesome, or you know what I mean? It was just, for some reason, he had a grudge on me for some reason, So I don't know, it was rough.
Did you participate in any drugs when you were young?
Oh yeah, yeah.
At what age did that start?
Probably about 13.
13. That's pretty young. That's 7th, 8th grade, middle schoolish, right?
Yeah.
So what was the first thing that you?
I was smoking weed. The weed and actually weed and LSD.
LSD.
Yeah.
What is that like as a young kid?
I was always one of those kids. It was like I wouldn't I don't believe it until I see it with my own eyes. And with acid, it was just like, I'm seeing it and I can't believe it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. And so I really kind of stuck with more LSD than anything, just for that reason, So
Do you still do it to this day?
No.
No?
I haven't done it in a long time.
But you were young when you did it. So
yeah.
were you addicted to it? Did you want to keep doing it, or was it just like every now and then?
Yeah, no, it wasn't that I was addicted to it. It was more just just for fun. Like I said, I was seeing things I couldn't believe it. And to me it was a blast.
The glass, you said?
No, it was a blast.
Oh, it was a blast. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. So LSD, weed, and was that it as a young?
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I tried everything else, but it was nothing I ever stuck with all the time.
Okay.
Other than smoking the weed and stuff, but everything else was just once in a while. I tried it,
Did you get ever incarcerated when you were young at all? Or?
No.
No. So you had okay. So you're homeless today, correct?
Yeah.
Can you detail a little bit about what happened?
Oh, see. Well, I mean, like I said, I graduated college and I was working in the medical field. I left one unit to another company for better pay, and the hours they were working me was just too much. You know, it was 18-hour days, 4 or 5 days in a row, and you know you can kill somebody if you not do it correctly. You know, the field I was in, dialysis, was it's a pretty small field, so there's only like 3 companies out there that actually do it. So once you leave those companies, you know you're kind of screwed. The company I left, they filled my position. There wasn't room for me to come back, and you know, it just kind of I lost my couldn't pay my bills, couldn't pay my mortgage, and that was it. You know, so kind of just tumbled from there.
How long have you been homeless now?
About 8 months.
8 months?
Yeah.
So it's pretty recent, not too far.
Yeah, not too far.
And wow. So and you had kids, you said?
Yeah, I have 4 kids.
And where are they right now?
My 2 sons are with my mom, and then her 2 sons are with their real dad.
Are they quite young still?
My oldest one's 21, and my youngest is 16, and hers is 11 and 9, or 11 and 7.
Oh, okay. The 21-year-old is with family, you said?
Yeah, he's a family. He has schizophrenia, so he can't really take care of himself, you know, because of that.
Oh, okay. For those that look down on people that are in the street or homeless, what kind of message would you have to them that, you know, that just tell you to get a job, you know what I mean? The simple stuff like that. Like, what goes on through your mind for, you know, as a wholesome reply, right? Just
Yeah, well, no, I get a lot of people, they'll yell like, you know, get a job, or I work for my money, you know, and you know, honestly, you know, I try every day to get a job and do something, and you know, when, you know, for example, Stroke Kid was having a job fair, and they're all interested in me, and I filled out my application for them, and they would, you know, read my credentials, but once they found out I was homeless, they were just like, we don't want you, and I was like, well, because I'm homeless doesn't mean I can't work, you know, and so there's not that fact that I don't want to get a job, you know, and not everyone who's homeless is out there on drugs and you know, stealing or doing whatever, you know. There's some of us out there that really are trying and just falling hard times, you know. Yeah, there's a lot of bad people out here, you know, I'll be the first to tell you. But not everyone out here is like that, you know.
That area where I met you at, can you tell me a little bit about the area, what it's known for, and why it's so popular?
Yeah, that's a big drug area there. You know, people smoke the fentanyl pills and stuff like that. You know, so you got people buying drugs, people selling drugs, you know, and so people out there trying to make money, and you know, and you know, when you're homeless and you know, you can't find a job, if that's the only way to make money, you do what you got to do to make money, you know. And the females out there, they're quote unquote going on dates, you know what I mean, to make their money, and you know, I mean, they're just doing what they got to do. I mean, you're just trying to eat, you know. And the one thing my dad did tell me growing up, and it stuck with me, is that the sun rises and the sun sets, and it doesn't care if you're hungry or cold or thirsty. You know, it's gonna rise and set every day, you know. And that's the cold hard fact there. You know, that sun does not care about you. So.
Do you participate in the drug action, or
now I do?
You do?
Yeah.
You just do them?
Yeah. Well, no, I do both.
You do both, a little bit of both. What are you doing these days?
Just right now, just the blues.
What are the blues for the people who don't know what that is?
It's the fentanyl pills.
Fentanyl pills.
Yeah.
And what does that do to you, for the human body, the brain? What does it do for you?
For me, it just kind of like relaxes me. You know, I'm 43, and you know, I've broken a good number of bones in my body. So I you know, I have arthritis, I ache, you know, I'm older, you know, it's hard for me to get this. You told me to start falling behind you up the stairs, you know, it's hard for me. You know, when I take the blues, and more or less take the pain away from my body, you know. When I see like these youngsters doing it, you know, it kind of affects people in different ways. Some of the youngsters I've seen, like, it took their mind out, you know what I mean? Like, you go from having a normal conversation to just really whacked out, you know, they're just really off. With myself, it doesn't affect me that way. It just affects me in a way where I can actually move. It's kind of like the Tin Man getting oil, you know, that's how it more or less for me. My wife's the same way, you know, we do it just, you know, because you know, we can't go to a doctor. If I try to walk to a doctor's office, you know, and But hey, I'm hurting. This is what it is. They look at me right off the bat, tattoos, knocked out my front teeth. You know what I mean? And so they don't want to help me, even though that I'm coming to them with legit issues. And it's just so you can't get it one place. Nobody wants to be hurting all the time. So then you get to go someplace else to get just stop the pain. That's what it comes down to.
What advice do you have to kids that are curious about trying drugs like the blues and you know what I mean and experimenting with these type of things?
Yeah, honestly, when it comes to like blues or anything, I say don't even mess with them. Not even one time. It's if I know somebody has never tried it before, I won't sell to that person. I will not be the person to give it to them for the first time. It's that addicting. It really is addicting. It's some drugs out there, like, back in the 90s, they had a whole crack epidemic, and the addiction there was more of a psychological addiction. With blues, because it's opiate based, it's actually a physical addiction. You get sick, you ache and you pain to the very core of your body, the core of your soul. It hurts, you're vomiting, you're diarrhea. I mean, and it's uncontrollable. You'll lay there and your own shit and vomit, and you can't move, and it's really bad. So, from the time I open my eyes in the morning, I have to go out and get my own medication so I can get going, and then get my day started. Just so I can move and walk around. So it's pretty bad.
Have you had withdrawals before?
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
What does those feel like?
It's like I said, man. You have pain to the very. For me, it's like it hurts in the bone marrow of your bone. I mean, it just aches every part of your body, and and then you start dry heaving, and you're thirsty, but as soon as you drink, you throw it up, or whatever you do keep it down, you have diarrhea, and I mean, it's just at that point you're just stuck. Till you get your next fix, So it's bad.
When you have to use the restroom and you're homeless, where do you usually go?
For a guy, he's just a corner of a wall, and that. For the other part, trying to have a restaurant and a public bathroom, and that itself is ridiculous. You have these people out here, and bathrooms are dirty, and people just destroy the toilet, and you're like, you've never lived in a home before. I don't understand. I mean, very few places let you use a public restroom, and when you do have it, you destroy it. It's like, for what reason? I just don't understand that.
Do they ever reject you, or are they usually pretty nice about it?
Oh no, you get rejected 99% of the time. So it's like, it's hard to even use the restroom.
So you get used to it after a while?
Yeah. I mean, a couple places where you can go, and you just kind of migrate around that area.
You think they reject you because they think that you're just gonna mess up the establishment, or it's already been messed up?
I think it's because it's been messed up so many times that they finally had enough of people tearing it up and clogging the toilets up or flowing them and dirtying it up, or they just shut them down, and it makes it hard for everybody.
Do you have siblings?
I do have a brother.
And is he in California or here?
No, he's here in Arizona.
Has he ever tried to help you at all?
No, not at all. He for some reason he's like my dad. He has a real bad chip on his shoulder, and he just he's like identical to my father.
You can't go to him for help at all?
No, we don't talk at all.
Or either of your parents?
No, my father, he finally passed away,
Okay.
2 or 3 years ago, and it's just my mom now. But he lives with my mom, and so like I said, I don't even talk to nobody over there now because of it.
Is there a day where you see yourself talking with them ever again, or?
I mean, I would like to. I've always been about family. Ever since I was a kid, the only thing I ever wanted to do was be a dad. And when I was raising my kids up until I was homeless, I was like a total square. Did no drugs, nothing. I got up, went to work, came home. And I mean, that was it. With my kids up, take them, Magic Mountain or Six Flags, Disneyland, just whatever. And I was like a total square. And our house was set up, for kids. I had 3 TVs on the wall. 2 was for online gaming, 1 for watching movies, and what I mean. So I mean, my kids will tell you I was a really good dad to them, So.
How often do you see your kids?
Now maybe once a month, once or twice a month.
Does that break your heart?
Yeah, it hurts me a lot. hurts me a lot. And that in itself is another reason why I use so much, you know, because it kind of like dulls the pain. Like the more I use, you know, I mean, it just takes that pain away from me. You know, trying not to think about it.
All your kids you had with your wife that I met out there?
No. I was married for 15 years.
15, okay.
Yeah, before her. And I'm with her now for 7 years. So I've always been like a family man. I've always been a real strong family person.
Do you have optimism in sometime in the near future to get a home again or apartment? Or do you think this is just temporary? And
yeah, I'm hoping. You know, her and I, we went out and we bought an RV. And I told the guy that, you know, I'm using it to live in, and he assured me it was fine. And last week or 2 weeks ago, we were driving down the street, and the drive shaft fell out of it. And I was like, I just paid $5,000 for this, you know. And I was like, so now here we are, stuck again, you know. And I was like, what a jerk, you know. He knew.
He knew?
He knew, yeah. So it's it's been a ride, man. It's been a ride.
Are you in the process of maybe fixing it, or is it just not a total loss at this point?
Well, it all depends on money. You know, I mean, it cost me up to $600 for the part and $150 to put it in. So about $1,000, you know, give or take. And you know, it's just all the fact of money. You know, it's hard to make money and survive out here and do what I have to do.
Goodness, is there? Wow, you have a very, I feel like, touching story, because like I said, a lot of people look down on homeless people. They just don't understand their story, and they go through things, you know what I mean? And I feel like we don't have enough empathy, and you know what I mean, don't really think about these things, you know, until we actually speak to the person, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, well, what are the next within the next year or two, what do you see yourself doing in order to get back and you know?
Hopefully, you know, my wife and I even talked about, you know, getting another RV or this one here, fixing it back up. And, you know, our thing was we already have this RV here and just trying to cruise around, you know, and just cruise around the country and, you know, stop and live out of the RV, you know, which is fine. We did it for a little while. You know, went to the forest up in Payson and hung out there for a week, and it was beautiful. It was nice, you know, and, you know, everything was going fine until the drive shaft fell out. So I was like, man, it sucked, you know.
Well, I appreciate you coming by, Josh, and telling your story. And again, I'm doing this so people can understand instead of just judging.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean. And especially because you were in the military,
Right.
you would think they would just help you out, right?
Oh yeah, the VA is a joke, man. It's horrible. If I was to die and go to hell, I'd wake up in the VA. You know, this is bad. It really is that bad, man.
Goodness.
You know, but I mean, yeah, I just, you know, not everyone out here is on drugs. I mean, like I said, well, yeah, I am using, you know, but it's not like we're just, our minds are blown and that's all it is, you know what I mean? There's some people out here, they're still trying, you know, and just like, you know, someone's mom or dad wakes up and goes to the doctor for Vicodin or a Percocet for their pain, it's kind of the same thing, you know, someone wants to do for that, you know. It's not just straight drug addiction, you know, but it is what it is, as I do.
All right, Josh. Well, I thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your story, and I hope you get on your feet, because it seems like you know what you have to do. It's just going to take a little time.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Josh.
You're welcome.